Greetings and welcome to episode 2 of Attacking Masterclass, where you will learn many attacking principles that will help you recognize the very opportunity to attack opponent's king, and I'll teach you how to build that attack up in order to at last get a tactical opportunity that you're so used to seeing when you're doing chess.com puzzles. So let's look at two examples that are going to be very instructive from the strategy point of view, how to create those attacking opportunities. First of all, take a look at this position, and I would like you to pause the video and think of the move that you would play over here. All right, so the correct move here for white is queen h5 and realizing the attacking opportunity that we have against opponent's king. An attack against opponent's king happens when we can bring more pieces, or more of our pieces have potential to come close to the opponent's king compared to the amount of defenders that they have. So in this position, black is in a lot of trouble because white can throw a lot of pieces at opponent's king. We have already the queen over here. We have the light square bishop aiming at f7 and g8. Our knight can also come any moment to help creating threats against h7. We have the dark square bishop. Our rook could also be lifted in some cases, and rook from a1 can also join the party to d1 later. So we have many more attacking pieces than black has the defenders, and that's why we have those attacking opportunities in this game. Very often that will be facilitating by getting space advantage, by getting pawns that are advanced on the king side that are going to be restricting opponent's pieces. That's not the case over here. So let's take a look at semi-efficient moves for black in order to show you how we can overcome those defenses. Imagine black plays h6. So this idea comes with the prevention of the knight to g5. However, thanks to us having a lot of pieces that we can throw at opponent's king, we already have the kill with bishop takes h6. And now taking advantage of this pin that exists here, we can bring the queen with the check. And after a couple of moves, now we can bring the bishop back to create a mating threat. After f5, we can go back. They must block with the rook. And then we're winning the rook, and we still have an attack, and white just winning. So as you can see, it's so useful to have many attacking pieces. That's what facilitates those tactical opportunities. Now, if black was to go for something like g6, now we can try getting the queen to h6 and follow this up with something like bishop g5. After the bishops get traded, then we can try getting the knight to g5 and getting queen takes h7. For example, if they play rook c8, imagine bishop g5, and if the trade is happening, otherwise we will trade ourselves, we're going to be creating a mating net and be winning the game. So the idea of having a lot of pieces that we can throw at opponent's king is one of the most important principles. That's what's facilitating all of those opportunities. Grandmaster with the black pieces in this game defended with queen c7. Now we're going to learn another very important principle, the idea of exchanging or eliminating the defenders. If let's say you have 6 attacking pieces versus 3 defenders, you want to make it 3-0. So the ratio is increasing to your favor. So you can imagine fight in the bar. Is it easier to win 6 against 3 or 3 against 0? Of course, 3 against 0, right? There is no opponent to fight against them. So white plays bishop g5 and tries to exchange the opponent's dark square bishop. This happens, and black thought that after h6, we are simply going to be repelled. Our knight has to go back, and our attack sort of stagnates. But white sees this very well, that they can bring more pieces into the attack. And so white feeds the attack with rook e3. So black realizes that if they take the knight, now we have rook h3 and queen h8 on the next move is going to be made. Black rushes with playing knight to a5. The idea of this move is to bring the knight to c4 and finally block the light square bishop from attacking. However, here white goes queen g6. Now, due to the pin, I already want checkmate. If it's my move, I'd have queen h7. They have to take the knight. Boom, rook h3. I'm threatening queen h7 mate. Black facilitates the escape square. Now they want to escape this way in case we go queen h7. Black plays rook e1, closes down the gates, and black resigns because on the next move, white is going to be checkmating with queen coming to h7. So as you can see, all of those tactical opportunities flourished from the idea that white had a lot of attacking pieces coming the black's way. And it's very smart also to facilitate the exchange of the opponent's defenders. Now, for those who are advanced viewers of mine, I would like you to stay with me for this example, as this is going to be a very beautiful attack that black is going to create seemingly out of nowhere. And we're going to be learning a very important principle here that I haven't mentioned in the previous example. So pause the video and think, what would you play here with the black pieces? So black could just play simple moves like bishop f5 and castles, and it feels like we have a long game that is awaiting for us, semi-equalish position. However, black in this game considered the move h5. Wow. Now, in order for you to consider such moves, or rather, you can consider them when opponent cannot create counterplay in the center. So in order for you to attack on the flank, especially with the pawns, the center needs to be maintained closed, or at least opponents shouldn't be having counterplay in the middle. Now, what's the idea of h5 in the first place? The idea is to facilitate knight g4, which is going to help us bring more pieces into the attack. And if the knight ever gets traded there, we can take with the pawn, and then the h rook is going to be attacking the white's king. When you're thinking of h5, the first move you have to look at is e4. So that's according to the principle white needs to try and blow up the center. So it seems that after h5 and e4, we're running into a lot of issues. Black, of course, would want to close it down with d4, but the problem here is that white has e5. There is a fork, and if you take this, then rook e1 wins the game for white, as black's queen is going to be lost. So it seems like it's not working. But wait a minute. After h5 and e4, before he plays d4, there's intermezzo knight g4. Now, white has to deal with the mating threat. Remember that if you take with the bishop, I can take like this, and there is still a mating threat towards the white's king way. So white plays g3, and now we can play d4. White is unable to play e5, because this time I would simply take this with the knight. And so my queen is not won, I'm a pawn up, and I still have an ongoing attack. Very beautiful. So basically, black played h5, white played e4, knight g4, and then he closes down the center, ensuring that our own king is safe. So white is unable to create counterplay over here. White played the move knight to e2 because the knight was under attack. And now black plays knight to e5, hitting the light square bishop. And also you can imagine later, our light square bishop could also be coming to the attack. So already from here, you could see how after moves like h4, soon the rook is going to be attacking the white's king. Our queen is looking in the vicinities of the white's king. The dark square bishop, if we ever play d3, will participate in the attack as well, and we have the knight and the light square bishop. In the game, knight f4 was played, so this way they're guarding the bishop. And here comes the shocker, bishop g4, eliminating defenders in order to facilitate that attack. So here we're repeating the principle that we learned in the previous lesson, or the previous example. Exchanging the defenders will increase our attacking potential. We have bishop takes and pawn takes. And now, if it's black to play, I simply want to give a check. King will have to go to h1 or g2, and then rook h2 will be made. So white goes h4. Over here, black would already consider the move g5 in order to open up the lane. Instead, black brought not the rook into the game or into the attack, but the bishop. So we have right now the bishop, the knight, and rook potentially attacking the white's king. White played king g2, and here comes queen to d4. No, queen is attacking as well the white's king. After queen e1, black played g5, and after this, and knight f3, white simply resigns because black's rook is coming to h2, the queen is hanging, and black threw too many pieces at the white's king. The pawn here is used as well. If you enjoyed these lessons, considering hiring me as your personal online chess coach, that's my full-time job for over a decade. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you would like to see part 3 and further episodes of Attacking Masterclass. Thank you very much.